Hi, this is Linda West from Living Live, and today I am with Laura. Oh my gosh, I almost said Laura Peterson because I know another Laura named Peterson, but Laura Templeton. I'm with Laura Templeton today of 30-Second Success. I'm really excited to introduce you to her because how many of you have gone to networking events and then they go around the room and they're like, okay, everybody do their 30-second pitch. And then you freeze solid because you aren't sure what to say. You aren't sure how people are going to interpret what you say. You just mumble your words. You know, how many of you have that experience? I've experienced that a lot of times. Actually, Laura, I'll share this with you. I didn't tell you this before, but when I used to attend networking events, when I first started, I was so scared that I always sat in the back of the room because I thought if I sit in the back of the room, they won't ever make it around to me. You know, that's what my whole mission was, to not be seen and not be heard. And then as they were going around the room and they were, everybody was introducing themselves, all I could think about is what I was going to say. I didn't even hear what anybody else said because I was so fixated on me being able to deliver that 30 seconds properly. And that's how important it was to me to get it right. So welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have you share what it is that you do, and I'm going to read a little bit of your bio right here, so people can know who you are, and why they should be listening to you. So Laura is the founder and CEO of 30-Second Success. She's an entrepreneur, connector, speaker, author, writer, wordsmith, creative soul, network and branding specialist, coach, mentor, friend to many, wife, mother, and a woman of faith. And she believes in the power of building others up, which I think is so extremely important, especially in today's world, and helping everyone find their personal message and giving them a voice in order to be heard. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you here because like that, you and I immediately connected. I think within 2 or 3 minutes when we were on the phone. It must have been 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so, probably. Well, if you're a business owner or somebody who is a business owner and they attend networking events or they get themselves out to introduce themselves to people, which you should be doing, by the way, please go and share this video on your timeline so that you can help them figure out how to put together their 30-second pitch. Now, here's what's cool is Laura is actually going to work with me on mine, which I'm super excited about because I just last week had my aha moment of, oh my God, I should totally be doing this thing that I've been doing for 2.5 years. And I wasn't charging for. Laura, you want to slap me now?
Well, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be here with you. And I can totally relate to what you're saying. How often are we just so giving and serving of others that we realize that we're just giving away the store? And it's like, at what point in time, somebody just asked me this morning, at what point in time do you actually start charging for certain services that you've been giving to people without even realizing you're giving it away?
Yes. So what was your answer?
Well, you know what? When you come to the realization that people aren't valuing what you're offering, people aren't understanding what it is that you're bringing to the table, and they just start to expect you to give it away, that's when you need to start putting a price tag on it, because your time is so valuable. And if you continue to just give away information for free or give away services for free, you start struggling with obviously the income side of business. Mm-hmm. So as business owners, we have to kind of put that business hat on and realize that there is such brilliance that we offer and we bring to the world, and that genuine heart of giving can become overflowing. And so there's got to be a balance. We are in it to sustain our lifestyles, and that's where having to be able to say, okay, here's a product that I offer, here's a service that I offer, I do charge a fee for that. It's like when you when you first started this, how many times have you had friends or associates that you've been working with for a long time, and then all of a sudden now you're establishing a business and they still expect you to give this person's question was, how do you start to put a price tag on it when it's a friend or a family member? And it's like, finding that balance is hard. So you have to kind of ease into it and then figure it out from there. So.
Yeah, one of my coaches, he said, because somebody asked him that question about charging, and he said, if they're your friends, you shouldn't give it for free. Actually, if they're your friends, they should pay double because they value you that much more, right? Like, oh my God, that's awesome. I love that. I haven't
What's that coach's name? I need that coach's name.
His name is Chris. I'm like, oh my God, he's so awesome. So awesome. Well, it is interesting, like business and how we go, money mindset, just mindset in general really controls everything we do in life. But when it comes to money and charging, it's like we got on this subject just really quickly is, I hadn't been charging for all this time because when I originally started this program, I did it 100% for me. It was selfish reasons. I needed people to help keep me accountable. So I created an accountability program.
There you go.
And because I was getting all of that out of it, I never thought, it never occurred to me that, maybe I should turn this into something that's like my business, because it's an amazing program. I do know that. But so now I'm like, you know what? That's what I should be doing. I might as well turn it into a program because it really does help so many people.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you have a program. It's called Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting, which I love that name because that word pitch just really actually drives me kind of insane.
Me too.
Yeah. It's just so impersonal.
Right.
It's so impersonal. So how do you think that's one program?
Of those, oops, sorry. Well, actually, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting is my tagline. My programs are connecting in 30 seconds or less. So that's where the programs come in. But Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting is the tagline for my company. And that was one of the things that we had talked about. Your tagline is so important to grab people's attention. And the reason, it sticks with you, right? Mm-hmm. It's so funny because I have people walking around, ditch the pitch. They know who I am because they remember that piece of it. But the value of it and the reason for that particular statement is you can pitch somebody all day long. You can throw things across a plate. But if the batter never connects with it, like think about baseball, if the batter never connects with it, there's no, never hits it, there's no connection, right? So you've got to be sharing information that really connects with your audience. You can pitch things and throw things at people that make no sense to them, and it's never going to connect. It's never going to get you anywhere. So that's where that ditch the pitch and start connecting comes from. I
love that. And it really you gave me that visual of like how, like you can basically, we call it spray and pray when you can do that.
Exactly.
Or you can actually have something that's really going to connect with people. And so, because what if they don't make the hit with the bat does not connect with the ball, there is no connection. And so you really have just the pitcher has pitched and maybe they struck him out. I don't know. So, we don't want you striking out.
Yeah. And that's what your 30-second message is all about, grabbing people's attention. It's not about telling them everything that you do. It's really about getting people's attention and getting them to want to know more. And that's where the misconception about that 30-second message is. A lot of people don't realize. They think, I've got to tell people everything that I do in this 30 seconds because that's all the time that I have. No, it's really about grabbing people's attention and getting them to want to know more. The next logical question, when somebody says, so what do you do? And you answer it, the next logical question really should be, how do you do that? So that's where that comes into in that 30-second message. So that's why I say ditch the pitch, because you've got to get their attention. You've got to get them to want to know more. So there's so much value in what you put into your 30-second message.
Okay. So I think that's because I know you gave me an option to choose either my tagline or the 30-second. I think I'd rather work on the 30-second.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that to me just seems so much more difficult. So do you want to just dive right on into it?
Yeah. And we can work on that a little bit. And what the biggest thing to remember is when I work with clients, when I start with clients, the biggest place, and you'll find this in my courses too, because my courses are laid out that they kind of build one on top of the other. The first piece is understanding who your ideal client is and where you're going to find them. So think about who's your ideal client. Who are you really speaking to? What is who do you want your message to connect with? And then where are you going to find them? How are you going to present this? Are you networking with them in person? Are you networking online? How are you connecting with these people? Are these people that you're going to be sending emails to? Is it people that are already in your email list, or are you looking to generate a whole new list? How are you going to find them? So that's that main piece. When we start working together with clients, I can't tell you how often I work, especially with entrepreneurs that are in their early stages of their business. that they really have not identified, and they're almost afraid to identify who their ideal client is because they're afraid they're going to leave too many people out.
But it actually is the converse, right? Because then you get so narrowed down that you speak to only those people as opposed to speaking to nobody.
Right.
Because the whole world is really basically nobody.
Yeah, and not necessarily.
When you put it into you don't want to. You can't. It's impossible to speak to everybody,
right?
Because you have a man and a woman, different, child, adult, different, elder person. So everybody is so different nationalities. Everybody's so different from each other that you cannot possibly connect with the whole world.
Oh, absolutely. And that's just it. When you narrow down who your ideal client is and you niche your business, and you really kind of focus on a specific group, a target audience that really needs your help, and you focus on them, you're still going to naturally attract other people to you. But what happens is when you're real specific about who you work with, that group's going to find you a lot easier than they had ever before when you were very broad in your statement of who your clients were. Right. So like, for instance, I have a really good friend who writes content, but she writes content for lawyers. So imagine how big her business has grown because she writes for a handful of lawyers, and then all of a sudden other lawyers are finding out that she writes content and they're looking for somebody to write content for them. And it's just grown from there. So all the referrals start flowing in because everybody talks to one another in that particular arena. So, very similar to that.
Okay, that's good info because that shows how important it is to niche down. And I've heard the saying, the riches are in the niches.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you really want to niche down so that you are speaking to your particular audience. So you said, so you want to know who your ideal client is, and then where are you going to be finding them? So whether, like you said, whether it was email or networking, or like for me, it's Facebook Live. I do a lot of Facebook Lives. And then, so what's the next thing is to figure out?
Yeah. So once you understand where you're going to be connecting with them and who they are, then start tailoring your message to, what's their problem? Think about it that way. Why is it that you think they need your help? What is it that their pain is? What have they shared with you that they struggle with that's inspiring you to want to help them? Okay. That is so important. And when in understanding how the brain works is like when you tell somebody they have a problem, what do they naturally want? They want you to fix it for them.
Yep.
Right? So now you create, then the next piece is, how do you solve their problem? So it's like, what is their pain? How do you solve their problem? And then, once you've identified that and you've become that solution for them, you really work at growing and helping them to understand and envision you as their solution. Because frankly, when you tell somebody they have a problem, they want you to fix it for them immediately. They do not want to have to live with their problem. They want it fixed as fast as possible. And a lot of times for as little as possible. So you have to make sure that you're sharing the value of who you are when you're meeting with them, when you get that second opportunity to meet with them and go deeper. So there's more in that connection afterwards. So, but just to grab their attention, remember, it's all about grabbing their attention. And then the next logical piece, once you've got their attention and you can fix the problem, tell them what you want them to do. Do you want them to visit your website? Do you want them to schedule an appointment? How do you want them to connect with you? That's the next obvious piece of it.
Okay.
So that call to action needs to be really strong and really intentional. One of the things it's funny because I was just speaking with a friend today and she was sharing that she has a media background, and in media and in news, they are told to use the word please follow us at, whatever. And I won't give it away, but they're told to please share this information, please. Well, there's a logic we find in the brain. The brain is an amazing tool, and it's triggered very easily to receive command prompts, just like a computer. Think of it as, those command prompts. When you want somebody to respond to you in a positive way or quickly, like if you want them to do something, putting the word please in front of it actually negates urgency. It kind of, depletes the urgency from it. But if you say, leave off the word please, and please apologize to your moms. I don't mean to disrespect anybody by saying don't use the word please.
Right.
But when you specifically say call me back at or schedule an appointment today, it flips the switch in people's brains and causes them to act.
Because it's a command at that point, right?
Because it's a command, correct.
Yeah.
So the call to action has to be really strong and really intentional. A lot of people are really, they'll say please or let's, and that kind of makes it wishy-washy. So you have to remember it needs to be very strong.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And then the last piece is, make sure you say your name and your company at the end so that people, can have an opportunity to write down who you are.
So not at the beginning.
Right. And the reason why I don't encourage people to share it at the beginning is because you only have, now remember, goldfish attention span, 8.25 seconds. Human attention span is only 8 seconds. So what you say, the first things that come out of your mouth really needs to grab their attention so they continue to listen, because it takes them about 7 to 8 seconds to decide whether they're going to hear what you have to say or if they already know what you do.
Okay.
So imagine if you were a financial advisor or you're a life coach. Now, okay, I know what a life coach does. Bing, I can just, forget about them and concentrate on myself. Or, and like you were saying, how often do we have people in the room that are so worried about what they're doing? How do you shake them out of thinking about what they're doing? You need to say something that, like for me, I help people with their 30-second message. Hello, that's what they're sitting there worrying about, right? Mm-hmm. So it makes sense for me to say that right up front.
Yeah.
That grabs people's attention and really gets them to listen for more. You want them to ask you, you want them to approach you afterwards and ask you, okay, tell me more about what you do. How do you work with people? And then the next obvious step from that is to invite them to a one-on-one meeting. I just did my Facebook Live last week was all about one-on-ones, because a lot of people don't understand the value of networking and how to take people from that networking event to a one-on-one meeting and start to build that rapport and those relationships. There's so much more to networking than just showing up at a meeting.
Yes.
And that's part of, my courses are a 3-part series. There's that, who's your ideal client, where you're finding them, crafting your 30-second message, and then networking, maximize your networking. For that reason, they all build off of one another, so it's really beneficial. Those courses are so tied together, and that's why, because I want to help people to become more effective at networking and really understanding how those pieces all interact with one another. And having that solid message can give you the confidence to show up on a regular basis. So that's important.
That confidence is so important. And I think I was sharing with you earlier that, I didn't have much confidence when I first got started. And that's why it was hard for me to go to networking events, because first I didn't have confidence. I didn't know what I was going to say. And once I started practicing different 30-second pitches, because this last 3.5 years, I've changed things so many times that I'm finally doing the thing I've been doing for free. Right. So it's like I'm doing it, and it's awesome because I know exactly what it is. I know who I serve. I know where they are, and I know all that stuff because I've been doing it for 2.5 years, but never verbally. I've never been putting it out there verbally. So now I'm ready to do that.
Yeah. So that's just it. Now you know the pieces. So what's your pain?
Oh, what's their pain?
What's the pain? Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the pain is they're overwhelmed. They have several different pains. One is that they're overwhelmed. They have too many tasks to do and don't know how to time it right. What's the word? Time management. So they're not very good at time management. They're lacking focus. I'd say that those are the top 3.
Okay. So the effective time management, that personal piece, that really intense thing that you hear the most. Think about that. What's that one thing that's really going to grab people's attention is there's never enough hours in the day. Do you feel like there's never enough hours in the day to get everything done that's on your list?
Yeah, that's it.
So that's the pain. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's me. Get them to raise their hand. When you start with a great question or a really bold statement and you see people agreeing with you, shaking their heads, now you've got your audience engaged. So starting with a great question or making a really strong statement and kind of like shaking your head and getting people to raise their hand with you. That's another way to get people to engage with you when you are delivering your message. So then how do you solve that problem?
Well, I have a process that I've created that, do you want me to tell you the process-ish, or do you, because I know like we're not really supposed to say, but like the whole process is
right. No. Give it to me kind of like in an overview. Okay.
In an overview.
Yeah. Give it to me in a way that somebody's going to go, oh, how does she do that? What does that mean? You shared with me that you have an accountability group, or is an accountability program?
Yes,
is it
it's an
setting
accountability
up systems?
Program.
Right.
That's
so
an accountability program.
Okay. So you have an accountability program that keeps people on track with their time and helps them to manage their days more effectively.
Yes, exactly.
So there you go.
Oh my gosh, that seems so easy for you.
It's one of those innate gifts, and I have to say it's a gift. I can kind of like, tailor some things, and it comes with time. It comes with practice, and it's one of those things that I'm able to teach clients how to do and how to think through the whole process and kind of narrow it down. It's the same way when you're creating a tagline. What's the big picture, and then how do you narrow it down? How do you bring it kind of into a tight little message? So what's your call to action? What do you want them to do once they know that you can help them?
I want them to hop on a call with me to explain it, so I can explain it to them.
To learn more, or if you want to take more control of your day, if you want to have more control of your time than your time controlling you, schedule a call with me today.
That's so good. Oh my gosh, that's so easy.
And then your name and your company.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay.
So that's your 30-second message. I hope you wrote that down. Otherwise, you're going to have to go back and listen to this because I never remember what I say.
No, I'm going to go back and listen because I was like, I can write it down, but I'll forget. I won't get all the words. And I want to make sure I get those words because, so here's the thing we were talking about earlier too, is that when you help somebody work on their 30-second pitch, what's important for you in helping them is making it so that when they say it, that it's in their voice. Right. And why don't we talk about that? Like the value of making sure that whatever you're saying is really in your own voice, and not that somebody told you, hey, this is what you should say. Because maybe that doesn't work maybe that doesn't connect with the audience because it doesn't make sense for you. So I want us to talk about that a little bit.
Well, and you know that, and I appreciate that because there are so many different personalities, and that's what we were talking about. Different personalities have a way of saying things different. I have men and women clients. Obviously a guy's going to say things differently than a woman would, and there are some women that are way more effective at just kind of being really stern and like, here's what it is, and boom, this is how I do it. But it's really about personality and understanding that there's a delivery in who we are. And one of the things that I encourage when I, work with clients is like, tap into here. It's about what's in your heart, that authentic. It really, you need to feel your message. Your message needs to really feel authentic to you. It needs to really feel like it's connecting with the people who are hearing your message. Who do you network with on a regular basis? Mm-hmm. So it's really about connecting on a deeper level. It's bringing your emotions to the surface. And that's not always easy for everyone. There are some people that are just not emotional people. There are some people that are just, cut and dry, black and white. Here it is. This is what I do. My husband has asked me to write his commercial, and he's an engineer. So he has an engineering mind. So for me to put myself in his shoes to create a message is, I think he's been one of the hardest ones I've ever had to write, because it's him. And he's my biggest fan. He's also my toughest critic. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's not so much that it's a critic, but I want to make sure what he has to say has so much weight. And so, so I want to make sure what I'm delivering, it just like with all my other clients, it's really spot on. Nothing thrills me more than I send out a first draft and get a response that, oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool. Oh my, I love that. Well, you said something that made me, I wrote a note here, changes as growing. Okay. So once somebody, here's, I think, the thing that's important to realize too, is once you get your 30-second message pitch, whatever word you're using, and you go out there and you start using it, let's say it's 6 months down the line. And during that 6 months time, you've met different people in your life. You're up leveling yourself. You're up leveling your personality. You're gaining more confidence, all these different things. It's time to change your pitch again, because you've gained different perspectives on the earth. You know, everything about you has changed. Your heart pace has changed. So everything has changed. And so it's time to look at it again and just change it up. You know, I actually know one lady that every single time she went to a networking event, she delivered a different 30-second pitch.
Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I have clients who are very creative. Now I have some clients who are very creative and just need permission to be creative. They really only need to know what the formula is. I have one client, I absolutely love her. She's a Feng Shui consultant. And for her to memorize a 30-second message crushes her spirit. We could sit together and come up with the most amazing message, and she could absolutely love it today. And tomorrow she'll call me and say, I'm not feeling it. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that she's such a creative soul and her energy is shifting constantly. So one of the things that I realized about her is she loves to tell stories. So I basically taught her the process of giving her 30-second message by telling client stories. You know, what was the client's problem when they first met? How did she solve that problem? What was the result? And then if you want the same results, here, you know, schedule a call with me today, or schedule a session with me today. So it was, again, that same process, but in story form. It really depends on the personalities. And that's a great way. The other thing you can do is when you're in a networking environment, I love it. I've been to a lot of, if you're not familiar with them, LaTip and BNI are referral networking organizations, and they will go around the room and do 30-second commercials. Now, they meet every week. Same time, same day, every week. Mm-hmm. So can you imagine after about 6 months of hearing the same person's commercial, you tune them out, right? You just kind of get bored with it. So a lot of these folks in those organizations have learned to be creative and start to play off of one another. They understand who their referral partners are, and they'll play off their referral partner's 30-second message. So for instance, like there's a videographer in the group, and I help people with their 30-second message. And the videographer was talking about SEO, and so he brought up SEO, and I said, hey, if you're looking to improve your SEO and create videos with Zach, I can help you with your 30-second message. So it's just a way to play off that the people in the room. So there's a lot of different ways you can. But once you have that confidence, you can start playing with it. And I teach clients all the time. I said, look, have one really good 30-second message so that when you're standing in the grocery store line and somebody says, so what do? It just like pops out. Or if you go to a new networking event and you're not sure who it is and you're not really comfortable, go to your go-to message that you've got in the back of your mind that you can just recall immediately. You need at least one really good tailored message that you can recall immediately, and then play with it once you have that. Just get creative with it. But by knowing,
Yeah. And like what you said about, giving permission, sometimes we just need permission for that. And so by you saying that, it helps me to see that how I too, when I go to a networking event, I can play mine up a little bit by what some of the other people in the group have said. That's awesome. Then you have, then you're communicating with other people without really communicating, and you're making a connection, which is what your whole thing is about, is making a connection, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And building those referral networks and helping your referral network to understand what it is that you do. Again, teach them how to deliver your 30-second message for you. Give them the pieces that they can then let other people know, hey, I know this great gal, she does this, and she can help you with it anytime. So educating your network, once you have that good message, give them a message to deliver for you. Help them understand what it is that you do. Because when it's simplified and they understand it, then they can repeat it.
And that's a good point, because I do know some people that, like you said, like people say, ditch the pitch to you because they know that it's like gotten ingrained because it's so different. It's very catchy. Yeah. And so there are some people that I know, like this one woman, she's a marketing person, and I know her tagline. I guess it's a tagline, or it's 30 seconds, but I know it. I have it memorized.
Right.
Because I just love it so much.
Yep. And it's just catchy. When you have something catchy that people can really understand, and it's like there might be, think about it. You go to a networking organization, you go to a networking meeting, there might be 10 financial advisors and 3, realtors and a handful of life coaches. Well, the ones that are going to stick with you are the ones that gave you a message that was delivered with such confidence and the simplicity of it. And they said something just slightly different, and it really caught your attention. Yeah,
and that's a great point. So. Yeah, because she could say, I help people with their marketing, or she could say what her pitch is. And when I introduce her to people, I actually give her pitch because I know exactly what it is. So it works. That's why I get that now, how important it is to have one that makes sense, and it really catches people's attention. And it's like, what do they call that? Oh, shoot, I can't remember the word. Never mind. I was hoping I remember. But it's called pattern interrupt. When you are saying something that people wouldn't normally say, it causes people to do that second take. Or like you were mentioning, when people are going around the room and you have to say something that's going to make them like look up from their phone and say, what was he or she saying? I need to hear more. Right. Yeah. So that's the whole point. So, well, thanks for working on mine. I'm going to make sure that I do a video stating it out loud, and I'll tag you in it. You can tell me how I did.
Oh, I would love that. That would be fun.
I think that'd be fun. Yeah. So let's talk about, you have some courses coming up, and we have, if you type 30 seconds in the comments down below, she has Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting. She has some courses coming up. Why don't you tell us really quickly about those courses, and I will also share them on the screen as you're talking about them.
Yeah, so my company is 30 Second Success, and I have 3 online courses that you can tap into. The first one is finding your ideal client, and that's all about who they are, where you're going to find them, how do you connect with them. And then the second course is, and you can see it on the screen, is crafting your 30-second message. And that's kind of what we just went through here with Linda, so that you can really have that authentic message and how to deliver it. So I talk about how to deliver it, all the pieces and parts that go into it, really go into that coaching side of it. And then the last one is maximizing your networking. And you also will have access to the free Facebook group. It's a private group just for my clients. So you can go in there, share your message, just be able to get some feedback from the group. If you have any networking questions, that's also available as well. So this is the meat of what I teach when I work with clients. We start with your ideal client. We talk about how to craft your message, go through some coaching on that, and then where to use that message and how to deliver it. And then what's next, how to build those relationships that will really serve your business for a long, long time. How to build those connections and that networking, that network of people that are going to serve you and your business for years to come. So that's what that's all about.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Now, Veronica says, let's see, I once mentioned in a meeting that I deliver my cakes naked. So are the cakes naked or are you naked, Veronica? I'm sure that got a big laugh. I love it. Yeah, she's so beautiful too. So that's awesome.
So shaking picks up. So it's, like I have a really good client who she tells people she has a cleaning service, and she says you can call and talk dirty to me any day. So it's the same concept as naked cakes, right? Yeah, but it gets people to go, oh my gosh. And she's like this cute, and when she says it, she almost like giggles to herself because she's just like, that's like, it's funny. She's funny. Adorable. But
and I know this guy started a company. It's a cleaning company, and his is called Anything But Sex Cleaning Company. I'm like, oh, that's good because I really don't know about going there. But just coming up with things that are funny, laughter is, it's a great medicine for sure. Absolutely. And so anything you can do to make people laugh, even if it's embarrassing laugh, like you said, she gets a little, Tee tee.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Veronica says people were listening. I'm sure they were, Veronica.
I bet you got a lot of attention for that one.
I love it. I love it. It's so funny. Well, I want to thank you so much for being here. And again, you guys, if you're interested in her courses, go ahead and type 30 seconds in the comments below. And then my messenger bot will go ahead and send you the link to join that and check it out. And, Laura, is there anything else? Is there anything that I missed that I should have mentioned or that you should have mentioned during our call here?
Well, that's the other thing. I actually have a free webinar coming up. If anybody's interested, it's how to craft your tagline. So if you go to catchytaglines.eventbrite.com, if you want to put that into the comment section, that the first 10 people, that's free. So if you're interested in learning how to create your tagline, just like creating your 30-second message to get more attention, I promise we won't talk about naked cakes because Veronica has that one already. So so we'll definitely work on your tagline, and that's a workshop that's free.
Okay, so was that catchytaglines.eventbrite.com?
It is. Yep, catchy, CATCHY, tagline.eventbrite. Yeah, eventbrite.com. Yep.
Cool. So I put that in the comments below. You guys just click there, and I'm signed up. Hopefully I'll see you over there. And if you have any questions, for Laura later, go ahead and type them in the comments below, and then we'll catch them later out, during the after the replay is out and everything. But thank you so much. And I'm excited to go listen to this again so I can catch my 30-second pitch and see where it takes me, because I'm starting to network again. I stopped networking for about 6 months. I just took some time off to figure myself out. And I'm excited to go out there and start networking and sharing what I actually do in a way that makes sense.
Awesome. I'm excited for you. So let me know how it goes.
I will. I'm so excited. Yeah. I don't even know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day. And you guys, I'll see you later. Again, type 30 seconds in the comments below if you want to find out more about her courses. They're amazing. I love what she does. And it's really important to know how you're getting your message out to people and get it out to them so that it makes sense, so they want to reach back out to you. So thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye.